Institute of Corrosion for this invitation. And this webinar is hosted by ICORR Midlands branch. It's on generative AI and ChatGPT. What's in it for corrosion engineers? My name is Prafull Sharma. I'm based in Cambridge. And this webinar is supported by CorrosionRADAR, where I work. So this is about our community discussions. This is the agenda for the next few, probably 45 minutes, and then we'll get into discussions. So what is this discussion about? What is this discussion about and not about? We'll cover that. It's very important to understand the expectations from this. And also, this is about generative AI and large language models. We'll get an overview of that. We are hearing a lot about ChatGPT. We are hearing a lot about Copilot and Gemini. What is all this buzz about? What's in it for us, right? And what are the practical uses for work productivity, for corrosion engineers, for our community, and what should we be careful about? And then we'll get into discussions. As I mentioned, this is a discussion. This is not a one-sided. A few words about me. My name is Prafull. I'm based in Cambridge in the UK. I'm inventor of COI monitoring, Chief Technology Officer of CorrosionRADAR, which is based in the UK in Cambridge. And I'm also chairman of ICORR Midlands. And this is my contribution to the community. I would like to see the corrosion community to be the latest and the greatest, most recognized community among professional community. So, and hence this webinar of bringing best, how can we be more productive at work? So let's start with the AI and generative AI. We are hearing a lot about AI. A lot of industries are using it already. But AI and ML is a very vast topic, as you see on the right-hand side. It's a very vast topic. And there are many dimensions of it. There are many uses of it. If you see, artificial intelligence is a very high-level term. There are various angles to it. Machine learning is a sub-part of it, where automated learnings from data happens. We all learned regression in our university days, right? Obviously, this is higher dimensions. Neural networks, again, there are many dimensions of it. Deep learning, but what we're talking about is very, very, very subset of it. This is generative AI based on large language models. This is slightly different. This is not about data analysis. This is the way what we do, corrosion engineers do. This is not about corrosion rate, predictive modeling. It's not part of the discussion. Then what it is, right? That's a vast topic. What this is about is how can we leverage the generative AI and large language models in our day-to-day uses for corrosion engineers. Right? We are hearing a lot about it. So that's the focus. So what is generative AI? Generative AI is all about, as I said, it's subsegment of AI, but it is a subfield of AI which is generating the content. It can generate images, it can generate text, audio, video. It can even generate codes and synthetic data. I will give you all examples of that. We'll do some case studies and examples and live demonstrations. It may work or may not work, but it can also generate synthetic data. Now, as corrosion engineers, we can leverage some of these developments because a lot of our adjacent industries are starting to use it. It's still in it's in infancy, but there are real use cases. So generative AI is that it can generate things rather than we query the Google search. So going one step further, generative AI also is built upon large language models, LLMs. This is what is being talked about. We hear OpenAI, ChatGPT. Essentially, what they have done is they have scraped all kind of literature from our internet, and also some libraries, wherever they can get data from, not numerical data, but language data, and then built model. So now this generative AI have the capability to not only understand humans, the way we communicate it, any language, but also generate a response in that language. So it's pretty much that, large language models. There are various models many companies have built. GPT-4 is by OpenAI, And then there are Google and other who have generated those foundational models. Okay, this is technical, but let's get to the basics. Let's get to the more practical way of doing things. So what are the emerging use cases of generative AI? This is where it starts to get very interesting. Many industries are already using it. So we can have conversations with computers now. They understand us. We can have, they can have communication with us, creative text generation. So these are the high level use cases of generative AI. You can have content generation. We will take examples of that. We can have question and answers, almost like a human. This is the crux of it. It's a virtual assistant. It's not a decision maker. As corrosion engineers, we are specialists. We are decision makers. But here we are getting virtual assistants. Generative AI is at the moment a virtual assistant for us. We can get information. We can also get ideas. Um, we can get suggestions. It will personalize the content for to us. We can translate. It can generate stories, creative writing, blogs. It can also generate codes. It can translate languages. The key part of that is how do we communicate to it? It's in the form of a prompt. So on the right hand side, you see example of a large paragraph. This is an instruction to these models that, hey, give me this, and then it will give you that. We'll take example of that. So these are the emerging use cases of generative AI. Now, how corrosion engineers can use it? I would say work productivity is one of the main ones. Virtual assistants. There are other emerging use cases more for the creative industry. You can generate images, videos, animations, 3D generations. Now, this is more for the creative industries. They're using it. I give an example on the right-hand side. I generated those images. They're fully AI-generated images with Microsoft Copilot, which is a tool available with Microsoft. I think if you're enterprise users, the Copilot is available to you, so you can use it right away and generate these images. The first image was just, I gave a prompt that, hey, generate insulated pipe with corrosion, with a background, blue sky, and it generated that. This person does not exist in real life. It is synthetically generated person. There's another image, which is at the bottom, I generated for social media, where you can see this is Birmingham Science Museum. I gave a prompt that, okay, generate an image of Birmingham Science Museum for Marine Corrosion Forum, which they are organizing an event, and with a bit of a interesting image for marine life with a person standing. So this image got generated. It doesn't exist in physical world. With some people here, these are all synthetic generated. So this is the power of AI. It is able to generate content. This is unlike Google. Google is a search engine, but this is a generation engine. It generates. So what are the other use cases for work professionals like us, like our community? We need to adapt this, but for creative industries, it can be narrative, script, but technical writing is a big one for us. We can write documentation, even user manuals, and obviously it's not 100% foolproof. We have to edit, but it can be giving us a starting point. It can also simplify content, translate, write articles and blogs. So in this session, we will do some of these. But let's be aware, if we don't use this, someone else is going to use it, and they will be more efficient. We'll be lagging behind. So as corrosion community, we need to adapt these left and right and be at the forefront rather than be at the backbenchers. So these are the large language models for work professionals. So let us try. This is where it starts to get interesting. So we will use some tools. In this case, ChatGPT. Backup is Copilot. Both of them do very similar things. ChatGPT is free. Copilot is with Microsoft. If you have subscription, you can also use it. But let's start with the first use case, which is work related. Let's take an example of email. Like, how can we be more efficient in the email? So I will write an email using ChatGPT and then make it a bit rude. We will see how that email comes out. Then we'll instruct ChatGPT that make this email more professional. Then the second one is we'll do an image analysis. This image we'll upload. This is a rusty image, and we'll try to find out how much percentage is of this rust, of damaged coating here. So example whether this can do it. The third one is we'll go to YouTube, see a very boring lecture of corrosion, and then we'll try to summarize it. This is a way of fast learning. So let's do this. So the first one is let's paraphrase an email to make it more professional. So let me share my screen. Let us see whether we have. So, okay, so this is how ChatGPT, many of us are using it already, but if people are not using it, this is how it looks. It looks very simple. We can write things here, and we have to give very detailed instructions to this. So the first one is I will write an email. So I have already written it. So let me copy paste here. So I'm an office worker. My name is Harry, and you are my office assistant. Write a short email, which is a bit rude, to my colleague who is not responding to my emails as well as not accepting my meeting invites. The format, it should be short and to the point, not more than 6 sentences. It should be addressed to my colleague Barry. Let's see let's generate the email. Right. So this is a faster way of generating some content. So this is an email which ChatGPT suggested us. Hi Barry, I've sent multiple emails, meeting invites without any response from you. This lack of communication is unacceptable and is causing unnecessary delays. I expect you to reply to my emails and accept my meeting invites promptly. Please address this issue immediately. This is very rude, right? Because we asked this to give us an email which is rude. I mean, we write this all the time. This kind of English happens. But I want to paraphrase this. I want to see whether I want a bit more polite version. So I will write another prompt, paraphrase the above email to make it very polite and professional. Keep it to the point and follow the format as above, but max sentence 4. So very specific instruction we have given it. Now ChatGPT is generating a content. Subject is changed from a very aggressive response we needed immediately to follow up emails. Hi Barry, I hope this email finds you well. I sent a few emails and meeting invites recently, but haven't received a response. Could finally get back to me at earliest 2 hours. So this looks more polite and professional, right? That's the power of large language models. It's able to understand what we want, and it's able to give us what we want. But it's about, as you would give any assistant detailed instructions, you have to give detailed instructions to it. So it's in the form of prompt, right? So this is one email. Let's see what we have. The second one is image analysis. We'll upload this image and try to do analysis of this image. So this is about image analysis. Another example, the power of this. So what we will do is I will share my screen again, and then we'll start a new chat. And I will then upload an image here, which is, I'm uploading an image. And now I have to give a prompt to it. The prompt is, this is an image of a rusted surface with a white coating. There's a wall on the right hand side. Please ignore it, which is not in our analysis. Will you please analyze this surface, this coated surface, and give me percentage of rusted or damaged coating. Let's see what it does. It may take a few seconds, but it is doing that. So it's saying it's analyzing. So it is giving something that let's proceed with the analysis. It's a very simple example here. We can go very, very complex, but we are just seeing the tip of the iceberg here. It is even having conversation. It seems I forgot to import some necessary libraries for image processing. Fine. Look, it is doing something, it's doing almost a mathematical work. It generated a grayscale image. It put some threshold on it automatically and says, okay, these are my rusts here. The analysis shows that approximately 7.55% of the quoted is rust. Okay, it seems a bit less. Can you reduce the threshold to detect more rust? Let's see. I mean, we are having a conversation with the software here. We are having a conversation in plain English to do technical work, and this is breakthrough. Normally we have a lot of manual work. We integrate. We do work with softwares, but this is a conversation with the software, and that's the future. Softwares will have a conversations. Look what it did. It said, okay, I adjusted the threshold, and now it shows 20.94% is a coated surface is rusted. Obviously, we can have more conversations with it. We can remove some background here and there, but this is an example of it. This is the power of these kind of tools. Now let's go to third case. Sorry, I mean there's a typo here. It's a third case. Let's go to YouTube, and let's look at a YouTube link. And it's probably a long link, and we'll summarize it because we don't have time to look at a long lecture, right? Okay, so for that, let's open YouTube. So I will go here. I will look at one of my lectures. Let's go to YouTube. And so let's say I do some webinar, CorrosionRADAR conversations under insulation. And it's with Theo. So okay, let's look at this one. Why corrosion and insulation is still an issue in petrochemicals industry. I'll click on that.
Wix gives you the power of AI to build the website you need.
So this is a
you've got insulation.
This is a webinar,
irrespective of the type of insulation.
And it's a long webinar. It's kind of 20 minutes, 21 minutes. I don't have time for that, so I will first transcribe it into a tube with a tool called YouTube transcript. I'll put a link in there. I just put a simple link on YouTube transcript. It gives me a transcript. It gives me all the English conversations which we're having. So this is all the conversations which we are having there. I'll copy the entire transcript here. So step one is done. And then we'll go to ChatGPT. I'll just open it again. We'll go to ChatGPT. Let's do it new. And I'll put the message here that this is a video transcript. Please summarize. And then I'll copy paste here. The whole thing is copied here. This whole transcript is copied here. It's a very long one. It's 21 minutes. But now you are seeing that we are seeing that ChatGPT is summarizing that. So in a few, probably in less than a minute, we have a summary of the full video. This is faster learning. And now we can see whether is there something we should be looking at or not. I mean, is this video for me? Here it's saying environmental impact of CUI, geographical differences we discussed, types of insulation where the problem is, what are the effective equipments. It says about 80% of CUI is on pipelines and 20% in equipments. You see, these are all, I remember that we discussed that in the video because I was there in the video, but intermittent operations, cyclical operations are a problem. Corrosion fireproofing is a problem. So this is a summary of a whole video. So this is the power of AI, generative AI. It understood the video, it summarized it, it transcribed it, and then now we're actually summary of it. So this can be used in education. It can be used in research with videos. It will make us more efficient if we do it this way. Okay, so coming back to our slides, let's go back to our slides. Let's move on. So we see 3 use cases. Obviously, it makes our work more productive. We can also use Microsoft Copilot. It's available. So, but I have not taken that example. It's available. Let's move on. Now, the core part of this is prompt. Let me introduce this term to you if some of us are not familiar with it. Prompt is the way we have a conversation with a generative AI tool like ChatGPT. It's like with Google search, we use keyword search. We write keywords. But hey, with generative AI, we have to have a English conversations. It is a detailed instructions, and we call it prompt. So how to write AI prompts? There are some best practices. There are some frameworks. This is my chosen framework. You can use any other framework. But overall, it says that you have to have a context. You have to give the ChatGPT context. You have to give it a task. You give it instruction, and probably once it gives something, you have to refine. So this is an example of a prompt. You are a yoga instructor writing for a wellness magazine. So that's the context. The task is write an article about meditation. The goal is to educate readers about benefits of meditation and sleep. And then the instructions is end the article by listing some practical tips for beginners who want to start. Then detailed instructions. Keep the tone approachable and friendly. Aim for a minimum of 800 words. Do you understand? And then it will generate the content. So this is the anatomy of a prompt. The more we master it, the better it is. I would urge all our corrosion engineers community to listen to this, to practice the prompts, and that's where you will get better results. We will try another tool here, Perplexity. That's another tool which is, there are some caveats to generative AI, but Perplexity is more accurate. I would say if you are more in the research, want to do more research with some references, this is the tool. Now, the key difference between Google search and Perplexity type tool is Google search is more of, you can imagine it to be like library. It's a catalog. You're doing a key search, and then it is giving you websites with relevant content, right? It's like you are going to a library, you're browsing a catalog, it is giving you books, and then you have to read the books. But the paradigm is changing. Perplexity is like a professor, or any of these generative AI tools are assistants or professors, right? Rather than going to a library, you are asking a professor for the answer. So the library is in the brain of the professors. They're giving you answers. So that's these tools are. So you can ask a question and then give you an answer based on all the libraries they know, and then they'll give you reference as well. So let's take an example. We'll do 2 examples here. One is, let's do a research. Let's generate an article on chloride stress corrosion cracking. And then second one, we'll have a chat with a document. Let's upload a document and chat with it. The example will take it. I'll upload my CV, and ICORR have a chartered engineer status. They give chartered engineers, but there's a guidance. So does my CV qualify for that? What is the best route for me? And do I qualify for the fellow status? So we'll have a conversation with a document, PDF. So let's start first one, research, generate an article on chloride stress corrosion cracking. So again, come back to this. Let's see, Perplexity. So here is Perplexity. So perplexity.ai is another type of AI tool. Now I will write here pro version, write. So like, let's follow prompt. I am a researcher, or I'm a corrosion engineer, I would say. Let's say corrosion engineer who have to write an article for my internal team in my company to educate them of chloride stress corrosion cracking. By the way, I'm making a spelling mistake here. I have not typed chloride properly, and I'm doing that intentionally. I want to show that these kind of tools, they are intelligent enough that they ignore that. They know what we're talking about. So write the article in more than 1,000 words. and give specific examples of accidents which have happened in oil and gas industry. Let's see what it does. So I've given this instruction. Now it's like a professor, so it's generating the answer. It's generating a content. So it's actually generated with some references as well. Introduction: fluoride-induced stress corrosion cracking is a form of this. It's a menace in oil and gas industry. Mechanisms. It is giving references as well. This reference from this website. This is from AMPP. This reference is from somewhere else. Then it's also giving examples of failures in the industry. Bay Oil transit lines, offshore platform incident in 1988, then in 2010 refinery in the US. And then it's giving mitigation strategies, material selection, inspection and monitoring, design, and then conclusion. Obviously, we can have further more conversation with it. What are some real life examples? Let's click on that. What are some real life examples? Okay, so it's obviously repeating some of the stuff, but these are the real life examples, giving more examples of that. So you see, this is a research tool. It gives actual web content, but it is bringing to you rather than you going to it. Rather than you going to Google, effectively Google is coming to you with references. Okay, these are the images. We can generate some image, etc., etc. So you see, these tools are very advanced, and for research, for articles, blogs, this can be very handy. Obviously, you have to verify. There's a caveat here. You have to verify the correctness of it. It's always advisable. But that's one use case. The other use case I would say is we have a document. Let us upload a document and chat with it. Right? We will use Perplexity for it, but it can be done in ChatGPT. I'm more comfortable with ChatGPT. Let's do ChatGPT on and analyze a document. Where is that? So let's have a new one. What I will do is I have downloaded some documents. So let me show you. So I have these documents. I have my CV. I'll give it to ChatGPT. And then I have some guidance document of Institute of Corrosion. So let's open Institute of Corrosion guidance. It's a long document. Here it is. So here we are actually having a conversation with a document, right? So this is a long document. It says guidance notes for completing application for chartered engineer. And then it is giving various routes. There's a diagram here as to what is the route for you to apply chartered engineer position, registration routes, etc., etc. And then there's a lot of stuff. And there's a workflow, all that. I don't have time at the moment to look at it, right? So I will use ChatGPT. And also I will give CV, my CV. So let us see, I have my CV here, which I got it from LinkedIn. And I'll upload it and ask ChatGPT to analyze these documents and give me an answer. So let me first upload my CV. And then I'll upload the guidance document of how to apply or who is eligible for chartered engineer status in ICORR. And now let me write a prompt. Maybe I have already written it. So I have written a prompt. I'm copy pasting. I'm attaching here files for ICORR, CEng routes, and also guidance on it. What are the routes to attain CEng status at ICORR? Give me a brief summary. I'm attaching my CV. Do you think I qualify for CEng at ICORR, considering the guidance document I tested previously? I test. So I'm attaching two documents, which are more public documents. Oh. And let me give it a try. So now it's analyzing the documents, giving me answer. It can be a long document, 200 pages, it can be short. So it is generating summary of routes to attain CNG status. So it analyzed all these diagrams and some text, and then it's saying the standard route using education or professional review, or it can be an individual route based on technical report. So there are two routes. The competencies required, this is summary of it: knowledge, understanding, technical, commercial leadership, interpersonal skills, and commitment to the community. Assessment process, there's a formal assessment process. Now it's analyzing my CV. Qualification analysis of Dr. Prafull Sharma. So this is my CV. It says, okay, PhD, executive MBA, some professional experience, 19 years. It's also some responsibility of leadership, and then competencies, demonstrated leadership, strong track record, etc., etc. And then it says Dr. Prafull Sharma's background aligns well with the competencies required by ICORR for CNG status, particularly in the areas of technical innovation. So you see, almost this is almost doing a human work. This is almost analyzing two documents, and it's like an assistant, expert assistant, who is able to look at the documents and say, okay, you asked me this is my answer, and it's very intelligent. I will also ask, does Dr. Sharma qualify for fellow of ICORR? Another qualification analysis for fellow of ICORR. So it knows what the what the criteria is, right? And then it is analyzing that professional experience, technical competences, leadership, all that. And then conclusion is, yeah, you may be a strong candidate for fellowship of ICORR. Obviously, this is from their this perspective, but it's a very quick analysis, right? It's good to know. I will apply for fellowship very soon. Please note, ICORR members or leadership. But this is the power of these tools. Let's look at. So we had a conversation with the Perplexity, or actually ChatGPT. We uploaded a document, and then we found that what we compared two documents. So it's almost like a conversation. So this is like a virtual assistant who is expert, who can read documents, who can understand what we're saying. The more content we give it, the better it is. It's important to give the right prompt. So with this, we are reaching towards the end of our discussion. Now we need to be mindful of considerations and caveats here. As an engineer, I would be very careful. As a researcher, I'm being very cautious that there are data privacy and security issues which we need to be mindful of. If we are uploading documents, personal documents, fine. But if you're uploading documents from someone else, we need to be mindful which tool to use, which cannot be used. We need to use the tools which ensures privacy. We should not use the tools which does not guarantee the privacy. Obviously, confidential stuff, question mark. ChatGPT also may have biases. These may have biases. It depends on what the training set was on the large language models. If they're trained on certain geographies, probably they'll prefer give answers more suitable for those geographies. So we don't know that, right? I think they are trying to generalize it, but we don't know. So let's be aware that there might be biases in these answers and data sets. And also, we need to be mindful of responsible use of AI. AI is so powerful. Generative AI is very powerful. As you have seen recently, we can generate images. These images on the right-hand side are not generated images, but we can generate images, we can generate videos, we can generate technical content. But let's be ethical. Let's not generate harmful content, misinformation content. Let's not plagiarize. Let's be ethical. So that's, as professional community of corrosion engineers, we need to be mindful. If you have to give source, if you have to say that this is generated using AI, let's write it, right? Let's not claim something which is generated by AI by ourselves. We can take assistance from generative AI. We can modify the content. As long as we do that, that's fine. But let's be aware of all these issues, which we have to tackle. There are many tools. This video will be available, I believe, to all the participants. And there are many tools which are used for productivity and creativity. Let's be more productive. Let's use all the tools. Let's open our minds that this is there, this is coming. It's not a future, it's a present. If you don't use these tools in your day-to-day work, you will lag behind. And people who do use, they'll go forward. So it's my urge, open up your minds and make corrosion community proud by using these tools, that we are adopters of these tools and technologies. So with that, I'll come to the discussion and